Good evening and welcome to our nightly edition of Just the News. This is really old school style. We're going back to what we learned when we were growing up and our parents used to make us sit down and watch the news because it was good for you to hear the news. We're going back to news that's actually good for you. So nobody's going to yell at you, nobody's going to tell you to feel angry or upset about something. There is going to be no outrage. It's just the news, just the information. Let's get started. Now, there was a massive uproar in Parliament. Opposition walked out Rajya Sabha last night, but the government still managed to pass the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill 2021. It was already passed in Lok Sabha. During the voting, 83 members voted for, 45 opposed, but most of the opposition members had already walked out anyway. The bill actually gives widely overreaching powers to the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi over the elected Delhi state government. Now that it's been passed, if it is enacted, what it effectively does, it says that every time the word government is used in any of the laws in Delhi, the government is the Lieutenant Governor and not the state government. So effectively, it changes who the government is. It also makes it mandatory for the Delhi government to get the LG's opinion on any executive action before they do it. Now, Delhi Chief Minister, Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal put out a statement saying that, and I quote, "A sad day for Indian democracy. We will continue to struggle to restore power to the people. Whatever the obstacles, we will continue to do good work. Work will neither stop nor slow down." The leader of the opposition and Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge opposed the bill while he was in Parliament. He argued that this is unconstitutional and demanded that it be referred to a select committee for scrutiny. The Congress later walked out of the House. The BJP, on the other hand, has argued that this bill was necessary to iron out the details in the day-to-day functioning of the Delhi government and Delhi as a national capital territory. Bringing you now an update on the COVID numbers in India. India reported 53,476 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. 251 people have died of COVID in India in the last 24 hours. The worst of all is in Maharashtra. Now, out of the 53,000, 31,855 cases in Maharashtra, and Mumbai recorded 5,186. That's the single highest spike in the city ever, including all of last year when we were locked down. Just to give you an idea of how bad Maharashtra is, Maharashtra reported 31,000 cases. Punjab, which is the next highest state, reported 2,613 cases. But states like Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Karnataka are also concerned about the spike they're seeing in numbers. According to the Health Ministry, a new double mutant variant of the COVID virus has also been identified in India, and a total of 206 cases in Maharashtra have been identified as this specific mutant virus. In Rajasthan, Rajasthan has joined several other states to now ban all Holi celebrations and Shab-e-Barat celebrations on the 28th and the 29th of March. Karnataka's Health Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar today announced that from the 1st of April onwards, all passengers travelling to Bangalore will need to show a COVID negative report to enter the city. Earlier, the state government made it compulsory for passengers from Punjab, Chandigarh, Maharashtra and Kerala to carry a negative report before they enter Karnataka. Now, anyone who goes to Karnataka will have to carry a report. So that's the COVID update for you. Taking a look at everything that's going on in the state of Maharashtra, after the accusations made by former Mumbai Police Commissioner Parambir Singh against Home Minister Anil Deshmukh, Union Minister Ramdas Athawale has on Thursday met with President Ramnath Kovind and asked him for President's rule in Maharashtra. Mr. Athawale has said that he has submitted a memorandum of demand to Kovind and urged him for President's rule in Maharashtra. The President has apparently assured him he will think over it. There should also be a probe, he said, against Deshmukh as he is under suspicion at this moment. He's not the first politician to do so. Before Mr. Athawale, former Maharashtra Chief Minister and BJP leader Narayan Rane also asked for President's rule in Maharashtra, given everything that has been going on in the state. In the meantime, the Home Minister of the state, Anil Deshmukh, has asked the Chief Minister, Uddhav Thackeray, for an investigation into the corruption charges against himself. He has tweeted that I have demanded that the Honourable Chief Minister order a probe into Parambir Singh's allegations against me to clear the air. I will welcome it if the Honourable Chief Minister orders the probe. Effectively, though, as a side note, Anil Deshmukh remains Home Minister of Maharashtra, so what he's asking for is for the police of the state to investigate the person they report into while he remains in office. Another update in the Mansukh Hiren case. The Chief Magistrate Court in Mumbai, in Thane, in fact, have ordered the Maharashtra ATS to stop investigating this case and hand over all of the case details and the files to the NIA. Remember, the Home Ministry, the Union Home Ministry, had transferred this case to the NIA last week, but the ATS didn't hand over any of the papers and continued to investigate. In fact, they made a claim saying they had cracked the case and they named Sachin Vaze as the mastermind. They've also arrested a few other people in that case. The ATS had filed an application with the NIA Special Court requesting Vaze's custody. They have now been instructed by the Magistrate Court to hand over that case. The NIA, though, has been granted custody of Sachin Vaze now until the 3rd of April. But the reason why bail hearings are interesting to journalists is because during a bail hearing, we hear investigative agencies make submissions before the court, and it's actually the first official sort of statements we get from these investigative agencies. You remember, all of the information that's come out of the NIA so far has mostly been source-based to journalists, but now the NIA has made submissions before the court when arguing against bail for Sachin Vaze. They've said that they have recovered 62 bullets from Sachin Vaze's residence that are unaccounted for. They also say that as per his service, with his service rifle, there would be 30 bullets that were issued to him, out of which only 5 have been found and 25 others are missing. And this is something they need to now investigate. On the other hand, Vaze submitted to the NIA court that he's being made a scapegoat. He's saying he did the best he could in the 1.5 days to investigate the case, and the rest of his officials in the crime branch did their best as well. He said, on the 13th of March, I went to the NIA on my own and I was arrested. He was asking for bail. The NIA has added UAPA, which is extremely stringent, which is a terror act really, to Sachin Vaze for bringing explosives and planting it outside of the Ambani residence. In Delhi, former Union Minister MJ Akbar has moved Delhi High Court, challenging the trial court order acquitting Priya Ramani, the journalist, of criminal defamation against allegations of sexual harassment she made against MJ Akbar. To give you just a quick background of what had happened. Now, this happened around the Me Too movement back in 2018. Priya Ramani was one among many journalists who accused MJ Akbar, who used to be a journalist and then became a minister, of several counts of sexual harassment. Priya Ramani also tweeted about it and wrote about it in a magazine article. Akbar filed a criminal defamation complaint against her back in 2018 after denying all of those charges. In a case that then went on for over 2 years, Priya Ramani was acquitted, and the court found in her favor, saying that women have the right to bring up these issues many years after it has happened, because otherwise women have a challenge of never being able to talk about it. MJ Akbar has now appealed against that order to the High Court, and we'll have to know whether the High Court admits his appeal and when it starts to hear it. Let's take a look at news coming in from the world of business right now. Former ICICI Bank CEO Chanda Kocher's husband Deepak Kocher has been granted bail by the Bombay High Court. In February 2019, the Enforcement Directorate had filed a criminal case under the Money Laundering Act against Chanda Kocher, her husband, and Venugopal Dut of the Videocon Group, accusing them of alleged irregularities and corrupt malpractices in sanctioning loans worth 1,800 crore rupees from ICICI Bank. Last month, Chanda Kocher was granted bail with a bond of 5 lakh rupees from a Mumbai court. Both Chanda Kocher and Deepak Kocher have refuted charges against them. The Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikant Das on Thursday said the process of privatization of public sector banks will continue, and the RBI is currently in conversation with the Government of India to move the process forward. Remember, Nirmala Sitharaman, the Finance Minister, announced that 2 banks would be privatized without naming them in the Union budget this year. The government was aiming to generate 1.75 lakh crore rupees through that disinvestment drive. Earlier this month, bank unions held a 2-day nationwide strike opposing that privatization. Also news now from across the world. The United States has become the first country in the world to cross 30 million cases of COVID-19. That's 3 crore cases for us. It has recorded almost 5.5 lakh deaths so far. In the last 24 hours, it's recorded 79,440 cases and 1,591 deaths. California, Texas, and Florida are the worst affected states. On a positive note, though, for the US, 1/4 of the Americans have already received at least one vaccination shot. 13% of the population is fully vaccinated. In New Zealand, the parliament has unanimously passed a noteworthy bill legislating 3 bereavement days of full pay for women and their partners after miscarriage or stillbirth. This makes New Zealand the second country in the world to pass such a bill. Who is the first country? India. This leave applies to mothers, their partners, as well as parents who are going to have a child through adoption or surrogacy in New Zealand. Taking a look at some news coming in from the world of science and technology, next month, NASA will attempt a historic feat. They're going to try and fly a small helicopter on the surface of Mars. The helicopter is called Ingenuity. To celebrate the occasion, NASA has also attached a small piece of fabric from the Wright brothers aircraft, which was the first aircraft to fly, onto Ingenuity's solar panel. The Ingenuity helicopter basically attempts to conduct the first powered, controlled flight on Mars in early April. Just a tidbit piece of information, a fragment of the Wright brothers aircraft, wood and fabric, also flew to the moon in Apollo 11 with Neil Armstrong back in 1969. A quick look at everything that's happening in sports. India won a silver in the women's 50m rifle 3-position event on Thursday at the ISSF World Cup in Delhi. The Indian women's team of Shreya Saxena, Anju Modgil and Gayatri Nityanadam lost to Poland 43-47 in the final. With this win, India now has 9 gold, 6 silver and 5 bronze medals. And one bit of positive news, and this is positive news from the LGBTQI community. The US Senate has taken a historic step by confirming pediatrician Rachel Levine as President Joe Biden's Assistant Secretary of Health, making her the highest ranking transgender official to serve in the federal government of the United States. There was strong opposition from the Republicans, but she was confirmed on a vote of 52-48. Last week, the Senate confirmed California Attorney General Xavier Becerra as the new health secretary, the first Latino to head that department. All right, that brings us to the end of news today. Thank you so much for watching. Remember a couple of things. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's a way that you can show us support. Share this video with as many people as you can. Post it on your Instagram stories so that more people get access to just the news. Thank you for watching. Good night.